Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to use the filters in Photoshop. Please read the directions to see how many of these that you have to do. Please remember to use various photographs, not the same one. I am using here a landscape photograph, although it does look like a painting itself. It actually is a photograph that I got from the website Unsplash, if you want to pick up some there. And they are high-resolution images of photographs, and they are free. This person, Lucas Van Querney, is the photographer. So you can see here that it is mountains and trees, and I thought this would be a great image to play around with filters. Filters are something that you might be using all of the time while you use your phone, and some of these filters might look familiar. However, I personally think that the ones that you're using on your phone might even be a little bit even more advanced or more interesting than these. However, what's cool about these is that they do look a little bit more functional, more artistic, that they might make it look like a painting or drawing. So let's get to it. Here's my drawing. I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to go to Filter Gallery. Here's my image. It automatically went to watercolor. Not sure why. It might not do that for you. I'm going to, right now it's at 100%. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There you go. So here's my image. It does look like watercolor right now. If I wanted to make it look back to my, no, it doesn't even do that. However, you could see here that it does look like watercolor. And if I do change the sliders, as I always tell you to do in Photoshop, that's what makes it so fun, and what makes Photoshop is that it does change the images while you use all of the sliders. I can change the brush detail, the shadow intensity, the texture. Maybe this isn't something that I really want, so I'm going to take this out. You can use the menus here on the side, and you can open them up, expand them, and they actually show you examples, which is really cool. You can also come to this menu as well, and you can change the filters here as well. So you can do it in a couple different ways. I like it this way because I can see what I'm getting. So you can see here artistic. It has different ways to show you artistic functions, film grain, rough pastels, dark strokes. Here is black and white functions. So bas relief, look, it makes it look three-dimensional. Graphic pen, so there's some diagonal lines like cross-hatching halftone pattern, which is something that you might find in an old-fashioned newspaper. You won't find anything like this. Again, play around with your dots, which is really cool. Sorry, with your sliders. This is like the favorite usually out of all of my students. You can do, again, with grain down here. For some reason, it's very similar. Play around with mosaics. Again, play around with your sliders, your grout width. Here we go. Wait, we want that. You can, oh, this is a new one, neon glow. I haven't seen this one before. Now, what you can do is, if I would like to, I'm going to go to poster edges, and you can see here, it kind of changes the forms, almost similar to your watercolor. It makes blocks of color. I'm just playing around. That's interesting. I still want it to look what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so I'm fine with this. I like it. I'm going to say, okay. Now, you can actually use many different types of filters upon each other, but you do have to approve it or say, okay, come back to this window and then go back to the filters. Again, you can see in history what exactly that you are doing. I'm going to go back to filters, filter gallery. And so now let's make this bigger again so I could see it in more detail. Now what I'd like to do is I would like to do some maybe alrighty. However, now I don't really know what it is, and sometimes in art you might not want to know what it is. You just might want to use this as a background for something. It does look really interesting. It kind of has this abstract feel. Scaling, relief, not sure what that is. Okay, do I like it? I don't know. I'm going to go to brush strokes. Ooh, let's do this. That's really interesting. cross-hatching. So the idea here is, as you can see, is that you should play around with this. That's the fun part about it. So definitely play around. You can do a lot of different things. I really like that, actually, sprayed strokes. That actually does something interesting with those black outlines. So you definitely, you can definitely play around. As you can tell by my surprise, it is really fun. It is really interesting. It can change what you are working on if you need it to. Okay, so maybe, this has this feeling of an old print from like 1960s. So you can kind of definitely change the feel of your artwork. I'm going to say, okay. And so here it is. It is really that simple. You are just going to experiment with the filters that are under Filter Gallery, simple as that. Then you're going to save this as a JPEG. Please read the directions before you hand it in. Thanks so much. Bye.